Dr. Lynn Miller here. The name of the book is Kids Have a Purpose. Kids Have a Purpose. If you are a youth director, if you are a parent, if you are a coach, if you are a mentor, or you care after kids in some fashion, you need to add this book to your library. It's a very good read. It's very funny, has a lot of good stuff in here. And today we are going to be interviewing the author of this fantastic book, Kids Have a Purpose. Welcome to the show, everybody. The author, Lynn Miller. Welcome back, Lynn.
Hey, thanks for having me back again.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. You have been working with kids for, I put 25 years here, but it's over 30 years.
Yes.
Why did it take you so long to write a book about children? You're great with kids.
I don't know. Point blank period. I don't know. A friend of mine and I, 20 years ago, said we're going to write a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm sorry, how old was this?
About 20 years ago, we were going to write a book for kids. And life happened, and I just could not figure out how to begin it. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. I didn't know what message I really wanted parents to know about kids. So I think for the last 20 years, I've been searching for the proper message, the proper approach. I had a lot of opinions about what I felt parents needed to be doing. First, I had to decide whether I wanted to write just to parents, mm-hmm. or did I want to write to youth directors, people who worked in the church, or who was my audience be? And so what I realized was that I needed to write a book that helped anybody who wanted to work with kids. Mm-hmm. I started recognizing that I don't think our society likes kids like they used to. Mm-hmm. I don't think they hate kids, mm-hmm. but I think that they're not in love with kids like people used to be in love with kids, And so I wanted to help people have these dialogues with the kids in their lives, not run from the kids in their lives, but sit down, talk with them, and create relationships.
What is the book about?
The book is about creating opportunities to have conversations with the kids in your life. Mm-hmm. I don't think we talk to them. Technology keeps us from having conversations even with grown-ups. Mm-hmm. And it keeps kids from having conversations. But the only way you're going to get a chance to know somebody. And I've heard so many people say, I just don't understand kids today. And then my next question is, well, when's the last time you sat down, had a conversation with them? Mm-hmm. And then I find out that they really don't know how to begin this process. How do you start having a conversation with the kid? So that's what I wrote in the book, how to create opportunities on various levels to talk with kids, to get them engaged in your life so that you can talk to them, and then they would also in turn want to talk to you.
So how do you recommend, how do you navigate the book? Do you just read it from cover to cover, or do you go from chapter to chapter, based on a chapter that you like? How would you suggest somebody navigate their way through the book?
I would suggest you go to the index page and look and see what the various topics are. Mm-hmm. And then find a topic that is of your great interest and then start there.
Okay.
Especially if you're struggling in an area with the kids in your life, or a topic that you wanted to approach them on, but you didn't know where to begin. Mm-hmm. I think you should always start where your interest lies. Mm-hmm.
Well, I went to the index. There was a few chapters that stood out to me, and I want to talk, specifically about a few, starting with fear. right? Because sometimes you have a
Right.
healthy fear
Yeah.
of something. How do you know when a kid really has a sincere fear about something versus something he just is a little afraid to try? Like water, for example. We
Right.
talked about water, and you're going to take your kids to learn how to swim for like a week. How can you tell the difference between someone who's really, really afraid of water versus someone who's they just don't feel like doing it?
Uh, I think both of them are kind of almost in the same neighborhood. Uh, you can tell when a kid is afraid by how they react. When they act in fear, they run from it. You might want to. They start crying.
Mm-hmm.
They start, really expressing, no, 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 I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. And they started actually saying, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. That lets you know that there is a real phobia,
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
fear
Yeah, that's what I mean.
that this kid has. And even with adults, when you're afraid, you can see in their faces, you can tell by their body language that this is something that is serious to them and they do not want to have anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to sit down with them and have a conversation with your kid about that fear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the book, I talk about my daughter's fear, but her fearful situation was based on, I think, I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much I can't do it. And I need your support to help me feel good about attempting this, because this is a scary thing. My daughter, Tommy, at the time was 6 years. No, she wasn't. Yes, she was. She was 6. And I had given her swimming lessons. She wanted to learn how to swim,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't know that learning how to swim also meant learning how to dive off the diving board. And so when her swim coach told her to go climb up the 13-foot diving board and jump into the water, the swimming pool that was like 10 feet deep, she started, and I was there, she started being a baby,
Uh-huh.
I can't do it, da da da. And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, is this man serious? This is a 6-year-old. Why does she have to dive off this board in front of me? Why me? Why in front of me? Why now? And he said, because she could do it. And so I had to determine
Mm-hmm.
whether I was going to support him and encourage her to do it, or whether I was going to go along with her and give in to her fears.
Mm-hmm.
And what I decided as a parent was I was going to support him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why he did that. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make her understand that I trusted him.
Yeah.
As her swim coach. And so she didn't want to do it, and she cried climbing up the ladder to get there, and she cried walking all the way down the platform, and she jumped off and she swam and she did well. And she's a lifeguard, teaches people how to swim. And so but you have to look at your dynamics, and as a person who works with kids, and we need as adults to stick together too.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
I had to learn that,
Okay.
and teach her loyalty.
Yeah.
So
Right. Let's talk about safe haven, because I thought that was very interesting. Safe haven. As a parent, how can we maintain making sure our kids know that they have a safe haven at home while still enforcing the belt ministry?
The belt ministry.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
The belt ministry.
I don't think that enforcing the belt ministry does not mean that the home is not safe.
Okay.
I think that the belt ministry is about discipline. Mm-hmm. Discipline and safety, I don't think, are synonymous. Just because I've done something that I was not supposed to do, and I knew that I was not supposed to do it and that I was told that I was going to get punished, you have to follow through on that. So you have to administer discipline. You do not have to beat your children, but you do have to spank a child. The Bible says that they will not die. So I believe in spanking. You don't draw blood. And I believe that if you start spanking early when they're little bitty people, when all you have to do is tap them or snatch them up real quick, then you don't have to worry about trying to pull out belts and switches and things when they become older people, because you've already established your authority. But being a safe place where a kid knows that I can trust you, you will hear me.
I can make mistakes.
Right. Yeah, I can make mistakes. You won't judge me because I think different from you. I know you care because you do things to show me that your goal in life is to help me become better. That's a safe haven. Okay. And then also a safe haven is also an adult that teaches children the most important thing in life, and that is that you have to help somebody else. You have to create even as a child, you have to create a level of safety for other people. And that's what being a safe haven is. There's a part in there that talks about even if as a child someone says something mean to you, you do not always have to be mean-spirited and respond back negative. You respond back with safety as a kid. You talk to people kind. And that's our job. I just got to reading a book by Richard Weisborn, and he talks about how parents have to mentor and create, and not only parents, but adults have to mentor the behavior they want their children to have.
Okay. Another chapter that I liked, it was at the beginning, it's important to help kids discover their gifts and talents early.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, man. What if a child is gifted and the parents don't recognize it? What does a child do then?
They're in a lot of trouble. I hate to say it. Hopefully there will be an adult somewhere in their life that will help them recognize their gifts and talent. Someone will step up to the plate and help this parent see that this child has this great ability. But it is so important because once a child recognizes their gifts and their talents, then they have also etched their niche in society. If I'm the best shoe tire in the world, then can't nobody beat me tying shoes. And I'm gonna, you might be able to sing good, you might be able to dance, but when your shoes are untied, I got that. And I'm the only one that can do it. And that makes a person feel good about themselves. Purpose. Because kids have a purpose.
Yeah. It feels like they matter and they can contribute.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to do, right?
But in that important here, everybody, regardless of age, is that I matter and that I can contribute to, and so often as adults, we think because they're kids, they don't have any contribution to the family. Oh, they're too young. They're too little. No. Help them discover their gifts and talents.
Yeah. Okay. What do you mean when you say thinking outside of the box?
I mean, there's a box. It's got, 4 sides? 5, 7, 8. Boom, boom,
6.
boom, boom. Yeah. 6 sides.
Bottom and the top.
Bottom, top, 6 sides.
6 sides.
Yeah, 6 sides. And you got to get that's your comfort zone. That's, that, you know what's in the box, you know what the box feels like. You got to get out of that. And with your kids, you got to get out of the comfort zone. You cannot, first of all, you cannot raise your kids the way you were raised.
Mm-hmm.
A whole different culture. I don't care. Whatever your parents did, even though they did a good job doing it, that's good. That worked for when you were a kid. But this is a whole different culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole nother world. So you're going to have to come up out that box. You're going to have to do some things that aren't comfortable for you. But it's all about creating a mature environment for your child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another thing from Richard Wiseborn. He talks about it's important for us to raise people to be mature people. And you got to get out the box to be mature.
I like what you said in chapter 11 on reading. I highlighted it. I'm gonna
I see that.
I'm a reader. I don't read as much as I used to before I had kids. But one of the things that you said here is kind of floored me. It says, an excellent reader is a confident child. That's true. Has a high level of self-esteem and is able to make the transition from learning to read to reading to learn. Yet, an estimated 10 million children struggle with this skill. And of those 10 million children, 10 to 15% drop out of high school.
Yeah.
That the sooner your kid learns to develop a love for that skill, the more advanced they become in their academic achievement. I didn't know that 10 million children struggle to read and that they are at risk for dropping out of high school. Do you think that's why the high school dropout rate is so high now, because these children have poor reading skills?
Not only is the high school dropout rate so high because of that, but the prison population is so high because of that. Prisons are based on the academic reading level of students in fourth grade. If you're not reading on grade level by fourth grade, it is you are a high percentage. It's the high percentage that you will likely become imprisoned at some point in time.
Really?
Yes. It's
fourth
called
grade.
the prison.
I have a fourth grader right now who struggles with reading.
Struggle with reading. Prison to pipeline problem that they have. And they recognize that if kids aren't reading on grade level by fourth grade, that there's a very large percentage rate that they will be imprisoned.
How do we fix that?
Start them reading and going and being indoctrinated in some kind of learning in preschool.
Mm-hmm.
They say that, and I just came from a school where we went to Washington D.C. and we looked at some schools in Washington D.C. and they have a great early childhood program.
Mm-hmm.
But they say, I read an article that says that the level playing field of children, regardless of culture, race, economics, is preschool.
Mm-hmm.
And the more children who are introduced to a good preschool program, a good preschool, not a babysitting program, not somebody that's just letting them look at TV, but they're teaching them.
They're engaging with them. They're reading.
Engaging with them. They're learning words. They're learning phrases. They're learning phonics. Those kinds of preschools, that levels the playing field. Mm-hmm. That means that regardless of whether the child is rich, black, Hispanic, white, poor, if they start and get an opportunity to go to a good early childhood, that they will advance. And at one of the programs I went to, it stated that, and they're trying to get the evidence that early childhood kids who start reading and being involved in a good early childhood, that sticks with them through the sixth grade. Mm. And even in the sixth grade and in middle school, their academic level remains at a high level because they started them
so early reading.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Do they have free preschool programs in Texas?
No, they don't. And I remember, I think I saw it in the news maybe a couple of years ago where in Oklahoma they were, no matter what your income level is, they're going to make it available all to all students, to all 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Although they do, let me walk it back. They do have preschool programs here through the school district.
Right.
But you got to meet a certain criteria. Like if you receive food stamps or if English is your second language, you can go to preschool. If you have a parent who is a veteran or they're in the armed services and stuff like that, you can go to preschool. And here it's like half a day. But just for like regular kids or whatever, it's not free. And you have to pay maybe $700 a month or something just to go to preschool, and that's a lot. That's
a lot.
That's a mortgage.
The President of the United States of America needs to be in figuring out a way to make preschool. I think there's two things that the United States needs to do. Number one is make preschool for 3 and 4-year-olds, not just 5-year-olds. So 3 and 4-year-olds needs to be free, and then I think every young person needs to go to 2 years of college free.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
2 years of college. And after that, America has given you all of the tools you need to be successful.
Right.
And if you aren't successful with all of those opportunities and tools, then hey. And then the other advantage of preschool, in my opinion, is that it helps parents recognize tools that they need in order to keep their children learning.
Right.
Because now the child is being introduced to language, and and it's easier for a parent to learn how to help their child in a preschool level and keep advancing with that child than for them to, start trying to help a child with arithmetic. If I don't know how to do arithmetic, I can't help my child do arithmetic.
Right.
So it allows the parents to grow, academically with their child. So that's why I support that.
At the end of each chapter, you do something that I think is kind of cool. You put an application. So you talk, and this is in every chapter, and you give like 5, 6, sometimes 10, 12 different points on how to apply what you talked about. Where did that idea come from?
Actually, the whole book idea came from one of my former youth. His name is Chris Johnson. He's an author. And he came to me about, it was 2012, and said I needed to write the book. And I told him, yeah, sure, have a great day. I love you. And then he came back, he lived in California. And he came back to Kansas City and asked me had I started, and I said, no, were you serious? And he said, yes, you need to do the book. So in talking with him and with his support and help, he said, you also need to try and do some applications at the end. He said that will help the people who are working with the kids. And I said, you're right. And I started, and it wasn't hard because basically you just, or was it hard? I can't remember. May have been harder than what I'm playing like. It was hard.
Well, was it hard to write the book?
I don't think so. I think it's harder to edit a book than it is to write a book. I can write all day long, but the language, you don't write like you talk. You have to write different, and you have to organize it in a way for the reader, not for the listener. People listen different than they read. I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
And then in addition to my other weaknesses, like I can't spell, that really.
Did you write it out or did you type it out?
I typed it out.
Okay.
I would actually. I was on vacation when I started it, and first I came up with the subjects.
Okay.
And then after that, I went back and said, well, what direction do I want this to take?
Okay.
And so then I just started writing chapters. It took me about, I'm going to say it took about a year
Mm-hmm.
to write the book. And then it took about a year and a half to edit it because, I'm special. I'm special needs.
Well, I really enjoyed it. I really
Thank
enjoyed it.
you.
It's an easy read. It's really engaging, and it kept me really interested. So I really enjoyed it. Where can people find the book?
You can find the book on you can email me actually, you can find the book at Amazon.
Right.
Just go look for Lynn Michelle Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Kids Have a Purpose, BarnesandNoble.com.
Mm-hmm.
Same, just look for the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a website, which is, you got the 3 W's dot Lynn Michelle Miller, the number 5.com. You can find the book on my website. And you can also go to West Bow Press, all one word.
BOWL?
BOW.
Okay.
WESBOW, West Bow Press, PRESS. That's the publishing company.
Uh-huh.
You can go on their website and go on the search engine under Lynn Michelle Miller, and you can get the book there.
Okay. So you all over the place, and I see you on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm on Facebook. Yes, you can go on Facebook and look for Lynn Michelle Miller or Lynn Miller, and I'm all over there.
Okay. Anything else you wish to add?
I think that the book is a great book. I think you'd enjoy it. Like Desiree said, the book is an easy read, and I wrote it just for that purpose. The chapters are only the longest chapter I think is about 4 pages, and that includes the application. Some of the chapters you can read in less than 2 minutes, and I think people will enjoy it once they get it. So
yeah, I enjoy it.
Get the book. Email me. My email address is
Lynn Miller.
M. Miller at gmail.com.
1955 at gmail.com.
That's it, 1955.
I wrote it down.
I knew that. Thank you.
Do you still take on speaking engagements?
Yes.
Okay.
I would love to come and share my book and I can bring books with me. As a matter of fact, I have a speaking engagement on June the 11th in Fort Smith, Arkansas, at the St. James Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're near Fort James, Arkansas. Come meet author Lynn Michelle Miller.
Yeah. Fort Smith.
Fort Smith,
Arkansas at St. James.
Okay.
St. James Church.
Okay.
Baptist Church.
Well, thank you for joining us today, and I love you. It is great to
love you too.
And this is fun. And,
yes, it is.
Take care. That's it for Getting to Know Global. If you would like more information about Getting to Know, email us at info@sixmanprod.com. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, or our YouTube channel. From Dallas, Texas to your city, people want to know who they are doing business with. Let them get to know you.